Shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Waharaka Kodash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I honor you brothers out there in the highways and the byways teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And I want to bring one scripture, and then I want to play a video. Because everything this dude's about to say in the video is just prophecy jumping off the page. All right. We've been saying it for years because we've been taught by our apostles and elders that it's not going to be North Korea or fucking Hong Kong or not. The beginning of World War III is going to be with the state of Israel attacking Iran. Right? That's gonna be the trigger to get the party started. All right. Jeremiah 49:20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that ye have taken against Edom, which begins with America but includes the state of Israel. But it begins with America. They're the chief nation of Edom. That ye have taken against Edom, and his purpose is that ye have purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock, which represents the Israeli state, shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. And we've always broken it down. Like I said, the least of the flock is the state of Israel. And they're going to draw America, right? Russia. They're going to draw everyone into this world war. Now, let's play this and he's going to go right into it.
This week, the prospect of some form of armed confrontation between Israel and Iran, and possibly the US, therefore, and Iran, well, that seems to have become a lot more likely. We've, of course, seen the bombing, of Iran's.
And notice as time goes on, everything is becoming more likely. All right?
Embassy in Damascus by Israel. What does it all mean? Is a regional conflagration more likely? Well, we've got no better person to speak to you, frankly, than the brilliant Trita Parsi, who is an American-Iranian commentator, the co-founder and executive vice president of the Quincy Institute for Responsible Statecraft, and an author of 3 books, I believe, on the question of Iran and the US and general relations. Trita, it's a great pleasure to see you. How you doing?
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you so much for having me.
So let's just get straight into it. Is an armed confrontation with Iran inevitable, given, as we saw, for example, the strike on the embassy in Damascus by Israel?
It is certainly not inevitable, but it is unfortunately increasingly likely.
Yeah, he going off. It is inevitable. It's inevitable, right? It's not just increasingly likely. It's inevitable because it's prophecy. All right? Isaiah 55. All right? It is inevitable because it is prophecy. All right? Isaiah 55:11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. All right? It's the word of the Lord, so it's guaranteed. All right? Now, if you don't believe in the word of the Lord, then yeah, it's becoming more likely or more possible. Just like World War III in general, they're saying it's more likely. It's not more likely. It's just becoming more apparent because we're getting close to that time. But it has always been inevitable. It has been written.
There definitely are ways to prevent a further escalation, and many of those cards are in the hands.
But that's not going to happen. In fact, let me say this. The escalation is already being prevented. The reason this thing ain't happened already is because the Lord is holding it back. He building it up, but he holding it back. The trigger ain't being pulled yet. The trigger can be pulled at any time. That prideful thought can happen, but the Lord's letting the pressure build until the elect be sealed. This is Revelation 7 and verse 1, it says, and after these things I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. So this World War III could have already done popped off already. Right? Iran is showing great restraint. But that's because the Lord don't want it to be fully triggered yet. But the pressure is building.
Cards are in the hands of Biden, but we have seen that Biden has not been prioritizing de-escalation for the last 6 months. And the last signals coming out of the White House suggest that he's not looking, or is actually not serious about de-escalation this time around either. But inevitability, I would absolutely not say. If you just take a look at what's been going on for the last few years, the Israelis have hit Iran numerous times, and the Iranians have actually not responded. They're playing the long game. They know that.
Yeah, the Iranian side have shown great restraint. All right. Partly because they know that this is a serious thing. When they go in, they got to go all the way in and be ready to deal with the consequences. Because this war ain't no Friday night fight at the pub. This is a serious thing. But ultimately it's because the Lord ain't put the spirit on them to be that Carmanian raging in wrath yet. That will happen. The Lord is gonna put the spirit, these Amalekites in their pride are gonna do something, and the Lord's gonna put a very vengeful spirit on them Iranians, man, and they're gonna come raging in wrath. All right, but it just ain't time yet. But the time will come. There will be that day where these Israelis, they do something they just should not have done. And that'll be the end of them and the end of this kingdom.
They're in a weaker position right now, and they are in a confrontation with Israel, but it is not in their interest to actually have a confrontation right now. It is in the interest, at least as Netanyahu defines itself, for Israel to have it, for Israel to expand the war, to prolong the war. And this is a key problem in Biden's approach. He has linked.
Right. So, like he's saying you there, it's in Netanyahu and Israel's interest to continue this war, to continue it. Right? They're under pressure to continue, to build the pressure, to build the crisis. All right, especially coming from Netanyahu, as he's going to explain, because this guy is in trouble. And this is all part of the prophecy unfolding.
His policy is as if he hitched himself to what Netanyahu does. But Netanyahu.
Right, so what he's saying there is that America, their policy is connected to the actions of Netanyahu. So basically, whatever Netanyahu decides to do, America has to ride with it. Because that's the stance that they have chosen to take. So Netanyahu knows, listen, I could just escalate this and I got these men that have to back me up. They got the ultimate boots. They're boosted. Like when man go out to the club and they know they got a brother with them with the problem solver. They know they're rolling with a couple of bad man cousin that will back them. Then man go out there and just act stupid. Because they're like, look, man, I got my cousins with me. I got a couple of bad man, a couple of gunman with me. They got the blicky on them, and they're ready to do something, and they're gonna back me up. Everybody knows them cats, and they go out there and just act silly and act stupid because they know they got the backing nation is there. Whereas if they were really just on their own, man would have to move with wisdom. Man would have to hold it down. These man Israel are moving like that cat that's got that one bad man cousin in the club with the gun. They just moving mad. They're moving with pride.
Not looking to end this conflict. He's not looking even to get the hostages released. Just see what he did yesterday with the
Man don't care about hostages. He don't want the crisis to end. They don't care about no hostages, and they don't care about no peace. He needs a crisis because he's under political pressure, and that's the spirit of the Lord, man, manipulating the world of men to fulfill prophecy.
the assassination of the children and grandchildren of one of the Hamas officials. That's not something you do when you actually want to advance a deal that gets the hostages released. Yet Biden has pitched his policy to Netanyahu, even though they have very different interests.
I mean, so about look of it and think this is kind of wacky behavior by the Israeli state in that there's been 6 months now of this murderous onslaught against Gaza. But I mean, that's been a strategic defeat for Israel in lots of ways. Public opinion is drastically shifting against them in the states that they need support from.
Listen, the optics right now on the JOO is crazy. Like they're getting exposed like no other time in history. Man are onto them. They can't do nothing right now. Man are onto them. Like they're finished out here. And this latest conflict is what made it worse. This just opened up the whole world's eyes is on these guys. They can't do nothing. Their man can't even get a nose job, and man are not pointing it out. It's crazy.
Armed support, diplomatic and political support from, and they haven't actually defeated Hamas, which after 6 months of dropping the equivalent of several nuclear bombs on an area the size of East London. So why a lot of people go, well, why would they want to expand that into a regional war? Or is it because of the strategic defeat that they seem to be suffering?
I think you put your finger right at the end. It's the danger of them losing in Gaza that increases the likelihood of them trying to expand the war in order to be able to get some sort of a turn of events that can turn this into a strategic win. But we also have to remember two other factors. Netanyahu in particular, but also other Israeli leaders, have been looking for a fight with Iran for the last 20 plus years, and they've been pushing America.
Yeah, that's true. That spirit, that proud spirit of war has been on these guys for a very long time. They got that proud spirit. Trust me. You can go back and watch old videos of this guy Netanyahu. He been on the smoke from a very long time.
American presidents to go to war with Iran. And all of them, even the most hawkish ones, have pushed back. But now, with Biden's deference, unprecedented deference to Netanyahu, Netanyahu may find himself having the best opportunity yet to be able to go forward with his long-standing objective and maybe taking that opportunity as a result. Secondly, we also again have to remember, Netanyahu knows very well the minute this war ends, his political career ends as well, and most likely his prison sentence begins. So he does not have an interest in ending the war, getting the hostages released. And don't take it from me, take it from the Israelis inside of Israel that are on TV every day making this point. The families of the hostages, who at this point have been completely fed up for the last 2 months, they've been very clear in their commentary that the current government of Israel is by no means, by no stretch of the imagination, prioritizing the release of the hostages. Yet Biden is following Netanyahu's lead on this as if Netanyahu's objective is to get the hostages released.
So you can go check the rest of this out. It's on Owen Jones's channel. But I just wanted to draw your attention to this interview. It's prophecy unfolding, man. All right. The pressure is building. The stage is being set. The time is close. All right. It's there waiting. Just there. It's just below the surface. There's just certain things that have to happen before that trigger point. But you can see okay, yeah, definitely. This is exactly how it's gonna go down. All right. So with that, we'll say shalom.